Hi, and welcome to CryptoBiography. I'm your host, Brandon Starr, and this is episode 216 of CryptoBiography, and it is part 11 of Snake Magic, and here we go. They made it to the bend without incident and went past it far enough to guarantee there was no line of sight back to the wagon train. Then they hurried across the road and into the woods again. Hefrid spoke in low tones. "It will be a while before we get to our town, but for now we must keep moving. Most of the humans seem to be with the wagons, but it is possible there are some in the woods." They continued on. Soon it seems sure they are far too distant from the road to have danger of encountering Garrick or any of his party. Neidre chanced a question. "What will become of the nasrach who died on the road?" Hefrid considered this. "I don't think the humans will do much to them. I doubt they will spend their energy desecrating them. They have the orbs and the gold. Unless they're planning on locating and attacking our town, they're likely to go back home now. Some of us will be around the road, around the wagon train. They will only be scouting. They will note any nasrach bodies being disturbed or removed, even if they cannot do anything about it immediately. If I'm not much mistaken, we will have a party sent back to the road as soon as the humans have left to gather the bodies. I have little hope for survivors, but if there are any, they will be cared for." Neidre considered this. "Why are you so willing to make the trade with the humans?" "We have traded with the humans many times," Hefrid replied. "We've never had this sort of trouble before." "Have you traded for the golden orbs?" "Never for so many, but we have recently begun to." "I'm guessing that Garrick, or Caedmon more likely, caught wind of the golden orbs and had some use for them. I wonder if some of the earlier trades were, in essence, scouting missions." "It is possible," Hefrid said. "What did you trade with humans before the orbs?" "Usually either acts of our magic or fruits of our magic." "I would like to learn what you can do." "I believe you will, but let us save that for when we are with our people." They continued on. Neidre's mind was spinning. She was still afraid. She had no idea of whether the nasrach would help her, cast her out, perhaps even kill her. She hoped that Hefrid was as kind as she seemed, but that did not mean the leaders would automatically be so, especially to someone who traveled with the humans. But she was also thinking of the possibilities, particularly the idea that she might be among friends, and that the real enemy was now behind her, probably packing up to return to Caedmon's estate. Eventually they came to a little village made of huts. It was near the crest of a hill, and they saw it quite a while before they actually arrived. "Is that where we're going? Is that the nasrach town?" Neidre asked. "Yes and no," Hefrid replied. "A number of nasrach live there, and it is one of a few outposts we have. It is designed to fool the humans, or demi-humans, into thinking they have found the main nasrach town in case we are ever invaded. The huts are easily made, and therefore we look more numerous than we are. Or at least the numbers that they see are explained by the huts in this town. We also seem to be quite a bit more primitive to them. Both are helpful. Those who like living here are welcome to, which aids the deception. In fact, if by some chance we are required to take some or all of the humans back to our town, this is where we would go. It even has a rather nice leader's hut, which we even stock with just enough richly decorated objects to fool an outsider." "Clever," Neidre said. "Are you sure you're supposed to tell me these things?" Hefrid stopped and turned to Neidre. "Either you'll join us, be turned away by us, or be killed by us. However, I've never seen any nasrach be simply turned away and allowed to leave, knowing where we are and what strength we might have. So you'll almost either certainly join us or be killed by us. I hope it's the former. But either way, telling you some about us is not a risk." "What if I ran away now?" Neidre asked. "Is that your plan?" Hefrid said with a wry smile. "No," Neidre admitted. "I am so glad to be free from the humans, and I'm just as curious about you." So, now you know why I can tell you these things, even if I'm not supposed to, exactly, Hefrid said. As long as we're stopped, is there anything else you would ask? Neidre considered this. Why am I called colorless? Right to it, Hefrid said. Our young start like you. If you'd grown up among us, you would already have your colors. Similar to mine, as I can tell by the scale of green and of blue. When we use our magic, our scales start to turn colors. Usually, though not always, females end up with blues and greens, males with yellows and reds. But sometimes it's vice versa, and sometimes they're mixed. The colors do mean different things. Healing is green, magic of change is blue. I'm guessing you've had a couple of strange things happen to you, and you noticed that your scales were different sometime after? Yes, Neidre said. One of the humans was hurt, but after he spent a night in the cook wagon with me, he was much better. And another time, a human was freezing and again joined me. He warmed up. Both happened during our trip to see you. But I had no magical orbs, so how could I have done any magic? Neidre was surprised to see a look of disgust and anger cross Hefrid's face. Did I say something wrong? No, Hefrid said. The humans use demi-humans to make magical orbs. This is because they cannot do so themselves. Thus they have canids and others make them. Only when they have the orbs can they use magic. Demi-humans do make orbs for their own uses, basically to store magical power for when it might be needed in larger quantities or to do a great task. But the humans take them and use them for all their magical desires. We nasrach make very few orbs. Frankly, we're powerful in our magic without them, and so we rarely need to make them. But we do keep some on hand in case of invasion, or the occasional powerful magical act. We made some for the humans, as they have gold, which is lacking in our society. We have some coin, but not enough, and it is a strain, as too often we have to resort to barter, or remembering which neighbor owes us a favor. Why not make orbs and use them as money of a kind? Neidre asked. Occasionally we do, but orbs do not hold their power for very long, so they are imperfect as a means of exchange. I see, Neidre said. So when Caedmon, or Garrick, needed a large number of your golden orbs, it was a chance to increase the amount of money you all had. Yes, all of us, Hefrid said, but it was a trap. Now the gold and the orbs are both gone, and some of our people killed. They did not know what to say to this. Shall we continue? She asked. Hefrid nodded and turned, and they continued towards the village. They stayed that night in the village. While polite, everyone except Hefrid was standoffish. However, Neidre did see that the children had scales on their tails of brown, tan, and other similar colors. Hefrid, finishing her dinner, saw Neidre looking at the other nasrach. Don't be offended, she said. It is usual for our people to keep a distance until a nasrach has fully joined us. I'm sure you'll find us warm enough after tomorrow. So the town is less than a day's walk away? Oh, yes, Hefrid said. If you're done eating, let's rest and get to sleep early. And that's the end of the episode for this week. I hope you're enjoying the story. I'm enjoying writing it. If you have any comments or questions about this episode or previous episodes, CryptoBiography@gmail.com or hit us up on Facebook or Twitter. And thanks for listening. Words and music, copyright 2021, CryptoBiography LLC, all rights reserved. Characters and events are fictional, fictionalized, or satirical.